Hey there. So we're on episode 5 of the RGPtools tonight, and what I want to do is we're going to jump right into it. But I was going to set up, I was going to show you quests and stuff, but I think I'm going to do that tomorrow because what I need to do is I need to do some prep work for it. So I'm going to jump over right now to the screen capture, and we're going to get started on a few things. Okay, so the first thing what we want to do is I'm going to go to show you how to set up a monster. So we're going to go into the character editor. All right, and then what I want to do is I'm going to come down here, file. Oh, I got unsaved document 1, perfect. That's the one we'll work with. And what I think I want to do is I'm just going to set up a spider. I'm going to set up a giant spider here. And then I'm going to just keep this super simple. Animation states, create default states, perfect. They're ready to go. I don't need to add any sounds or anything to it because I'll have to save it as a character and then create an attack sound for it, because setting up the default hit sounds, it still gets overridden by the player's hit sound, so I don't really want to do anything there at this moment. So that being said, I've created that now, and I'm going to go File, Save As, and now what I want to call it is She Spider. Save. All right. Now I'm going to go back here and I want to go to the data editor. And now I want to go over here to, actually I don't need to do anything there because I can set it in the spider. So that's fine. What I'm going to do is come back to the level editor. So that spider's been saved and it's ready to go. But what I want to do now is I want to just test it out here. And I'm going to just go Object. And I'm going to come down here to Unit. And I just want to look through the unit here. And if I scroll down right near the bottom here, I'm not seeing it. It should be here. I'm not sure why I don't see it. Oh, there she is. It's under character. So then I click that, and in theory I could place her here. Perfect. Okay, so I don't need to do that. I just wanted to make sure I could. All right. So what I need to do is create a new level. So File, New. And this new level, I think what we're going to do is we're just going to leave it at 64 by 64. And we're going to call that OK. Then we're going to go fill with one tile. And I think I want to fill it with some forest moss. Let's see. Grass thick. That'll work. Thick grass. Okay, perfect. Then I want to come back here to place tiles individually. And I think what I want to do is find this one, because this is what I used in the swamp. So I'm just going to zoom out a little bit here. And I think what we're going to do is we're going to place the player character here. So we're just going to have him going to have a little bit of swampiness here. Make this come out a bit more. Fill all that in nicely. Okay. And then I think what I want to do is I want to do something here that's called raise the ground. So I want to change the terrain height, and I didn't show this to you in the last one. I'm going to take this setting here and I'm going to make it a circle, and I'm going to just make it a bit bigger. I'm going to zap it up to 6 here. And so what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to go and I'm just going to turn this into a little bit of a rolly ground here. There we go. So now we got this forest here. Change that. I'm going to go from changing the height back to placing tiles. Now I want to find my swamp water again. And I'm going to shrink that down. It's a pretty good size there. Open up my settings on the swamp water, and I think I went something like 3 and 5, something like that. And now I just want to go and do a little bit of a and what I want to do is I'm just going to have the ground kind of run into that. So now what I'm going to do is have this this one here, or this one, maybe this one here. It's a little less green. Settings. I'm going to go 5 and 5 on that one. Okay, then I'm going to go to this one, and on that one I'm going to go 5 and 5. We'll play around with these after to get them right. And then we're just going to go like this. And then just run that out of town. There we go. So perfect. All right, we got that kind of working. Now then I want to go down something like that. Okay, there we go. And this one, there we go. Kind of gives me a transition bubbly. I don't know how that's going to look, but whatever, it sets it up. So now what I want to do is I want to come down here, and I want to find kind of an open kind of that. And then I want a little bit of an open spot here. There we go, kind of like that. I'm just gonna make that come close to the riverbank. Okay, perfect. That's gonna do. So now, file, save. Did I call this something already? Let's call this Nixie Forest. Save. Perfect. Okay. And so now what I want to do is I want to come to areas. And I need to make a circle area. I'm going to choose a color. Green. I like to set green as my starting area. I'm going to call this Nixie Start. Okay. And I'm just going to draw it. Right there. That works. Cool. File, save. Now I want to go File, Properties, and then the start area here is going to be Nixie Start. All right. Perfect. File, save. Now I need to just go, I need to paint anything in here. Background objects. Add. And I'm going to filter this out. Just going to look for some coniferous trees here maybe, or maybe some deciduous. What type do I want to put down here? How about these guys? All right, and I'm going to show you a new thing here. So I might have shown this to you, I'm not sure, but instead of the add object mode, we're going to go to add multiple objects. That way I can select, oh, I want to go here. I want to go into the object layer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then we're just going to there. Now I'm going to go to the background mode, bush, let's go, let's try, oh, I still have trees selected. I don't want trees. Why am I painting a tree? Alright. Painting trees because I still have them selected. Okay. Perfect. Okay. All right, perfect. Now I'm going to go down to so unselect these bushes. I want to select some flowers. Maybe a hedge or two here. Then what I want to do is zoom in a little bit. Okay. Now I'm going to unselect those. I think I'm pretty good now. I don't think there's anything else in there that I need to worry about. So now what I do want to do is select rocks. Now I'm curious. I'm going to go. I think I like that one better. There we go. Perfect. Now I'm going to unselect those ones and I want some big rocks now. These big guys, I think. Yeah. 2, 3, 4, 5. Wait, how big are those? Actually, you know what? No. Okay. Big rocks. Those are what I want. Big rocks. Large rocks. Eight large rocks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Perfect. Okay. File, save. Now I want to go to effects. Uh-huh. Okay. No. Actually, I don't need to put any effects in yet. I'll put something in later. I think that's going to be good. File, save. What I do want to put in is object. And then what I want to do is I want to come down here. Lights. No. What am I doing? I didn't want lights. Sorry. Objects. Add an object. Sorry. I want to add a unit. That's what I want. Character. And what I want to add is her. Right in the center. Alright, perfect. There, we've set her up right in the center. File, save. Okay. So now what I want to do is go File, Open, and what I want to do is I want to open. So a bunch of these are the ones that came with it. So I did the Start Swamp and Nixie's Forest. Okay, so Start Swamp is opening in theory. File. Didn't open there for me. Open. I might have found a bug. Oh no. I just need to tab over. Sorry, my bad. Okay, so now I've got this together. So what I want to do now is I want to come over here. And I think what I want to do is I want to edit it so that this tree, I'm going to move it over there. Perfect. Now I want to go back to tiles, and I want to grab my thick grass. And then I also want to grab my this one. And just go a little bit like that. And I want to shrink that down. And just do a little bit like that. There. So now what I'm going to do is create a new area. And I'm going to make this a transitional area. So I think what I want to do is I want to do a different color for these. So I'm going to do a bluish color. And then it's not Nixie Start though. Edit areas. delete, add an area. Go to Nixie. Perfect. All right. That's what we want right there. Then on enter logic, what we want to do, add a component, and then what we're just going to do is an action. We're not going to do a set variable. We're going to basically do a teleport here. Load a level. Browse. Nixie's Forest. Open. Perfect. Now, where do I want to start? Use for the loading screen. We're going to call this leaving the swamp and entering a forest. Control C. Okay. There we go. Perfect. File, save. We'll see if that works. Let's give it a test run here. So we're going to run over here. We're going to add Will-O-the-Wisp to the party. That way we can best debug this. Want me to join your party? Yes, I do. Now we're going to continue on all the way over. And so I got something wrong there. Or that may not work until I build the game. I'm not sure. You just come down here. Nixie start. Come back here. Edit areas. Go to Nixie. Element. On enter logic. Oh. That's why it didn't work. I didn't save it, I guess. Let me try that again. All right, so action. Move units to an area. No, we want to go to load level. There we go. And I want to go to browse. And I want to go to there it is, Nixie's Forest. Open. Perfect. Empty equals default, but let's go Nixie start. Sure. Don't need a texture. That's fine. Okay. That should be fine. And I'm just going to beeline over there all by myself. There we go. Worked this time. And there we are, coming out of the swamp into Nixie's area. There's where the swamp water merges with the creek runoff. Just going to run all the way up. And there we go. We're in Nixie's little zone. So, with that being said, we've set up a new area. We've set up a transition in order to go over to that area. For whatever reason, it didn't work the first time, but it does work now. So we're going to save that. And then we've got Nixie set up in the middle of our little mystical forest. And then I think what we're going to do is we're going to go and place object and character, and I think I want to come down here to she spider, and I'm going to put her right there. And I also want to go, and I think I just want to put a cave unit there. Change that from unit to object. And then I'm just going to do a I don't have a great, yeah, we'll use this one. How about this one? You know what, I'll put this in the bottom corner here. I'm going to grab this tree and I'll move it up here with a spider. Zoom in a bit. Select. There we go. We'll move her over here. Perfect. Good enough. All right, there. Now we got her by her cave. Now what I want to do is I want to block this out. Let me make this a little bigger. Perfect. Okay. Two and two. Okay, now what I want to do is just simply zoom out a little bit. I'm going to block that off. I'm going to block this off for the most part. Perfect. Now I want to go to background, and I want to go to object, and what I want to do is I want to go to rocks again, and this time oh wait, I need to see path right there. Okay, let me zoom this in. Okay, and then I want to go to, so basically between that tree and that rock is where I want to go. So I want to go background, between that tree and that. Alright, let's see how the path lines up. Pretty good. I like that. We can work with that. Okay, that means our character can go across there. Alright. File, save. And I think that's where we're going to leave it for the night. This has gone on long enough. We've been recording for quite a while. Sorry, I got a little carried away with making this level. So we set up a corresponding level. We've set up a transition area so that when we enter it, it takes us over to the new level. And in the new level, we've blocked off some places you can't go, set up the druidic den thing in the middle of the forest here, and we've set up a cave with a giant spider in front of it. So we're all ready to do the quest in the very next episode. So that's what we're going to do in the next episode. I'll see you then.